I want.
This is and we are live with
Are you
Silver
sure?
Screen Savants, episode 18. We are talking about 2003's Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl on Silver Screen Savants.
Episode 18.
Episode 18.
Yes. Oh, this episode. Yeah.
And this is I'll let Anubis start this one. Like I'm trying to.
Gather your thoughts.
Start this one.
My brain's like.
All right. So,
magic how to say it.
Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl is a 2003 American fantasy swashbuckler film directed by Gore Verbinski, produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, and a lot of other bullshit I don't care about. So basically, yeah, it's the first in the franchise to star Johnny Depp, Jeffrey Rush, Orlando Bloom. We won't talk about Orlando Bloom.
Okay.
Keira Knightley, and a whole lot of other people as well. And so basically, we start the film out where we have this ship that's sailing, and kind of weirdly because our guy Jack Davenport, who plays Norrington, is actually the captain of this vessel, along with the father, played by Jonathan Pryce, Governor Weatherby Swann. We have a young Elizabeth Swann on the ship. She's like a young child, and she's kind of singing like a pirate song that's out there for whatever reason, but she ends up spotting this kid on this piece of wreckage in the water as a young boy. So they sweep him up, get him on board, and then they see like this ship that's been just demolished. It's on fire, it's breaking down, it's sinking. So they try to get in their little boats to go check on that and leave her to kind of look after this young boy, to which discover he's got a medallion on around his neck. And it's a pirate medallion, or at least that's her first assumption, which is not a bad assumption. So she takes it. The greedy little bitch took the gold. And so that kind of kicks off our film until we get fast forward. I think it was 10 years later.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
She's, a young woman.
And, 18th century is the beginning of the prequel.
Well, yeah, I'm just wondering from the time that they just.
Okay, 8 years later.
Yeah. So she's grown up a little bit now, and Norrington is the same age, weirdly. And so he has aspirations to marry this young girl, which the governor doesn't mind because Norrington's a pretty respectable captain, a lieutenant Norrington, and he's leading the Interceptor, which is a ship from the Royal Navy. Then we also get a look at young Will Turner, who's the young boy that was rescued that day out in the water, and he's become a blacksmith. And so he doesn't really know where he comes from per se. There's no memory really there that he knows of, just that he was on a ship that got attacked by pirates. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna just turn it over to you guys. How you felt about the opening to this? One thing I've learned is that this film actually surpassed Hook as one of the greatest pirate movies of all time when it came out. So let's go with Goji. How do you feel about like a lot of this opening scene and what we got set up here?
Well, when this movie came out, it took the world by storm. It was breathtaking when this movie came out. Like just the first trailer that came out. Like when I was working at Busch Gardens, I was talking about movies like, Freddy versus Jason and, the first Saw film, was coming around this time. But everyone was talking about Pirates of the Caribbean. And I just said to everybody, like, you mean the Disney ride? Like, what are you guys talking about? What are you on about? And then they're like, no, the pirate movie. I'm like, the pirate movie you're talking about? And then I saw the trailer finally. This is the very early on, like this is before YouTube. Like you wanted to see the trailer for it, you had to download it from like a website and all that. So this is before, it was far more easier for everybody to watch. And I finally watched. I'm like, wow, this does look really good. I'm gonna go check this out. And yes, this opening, and yeah, the song that Elizabeth was singing was Yo Ho. And that's the song from, the attraction at Disney was Pirates of the Caribbean. And, it's a very, engaging opening that she has. And, yeah, Norrington is, he doesn't look like he's aged very much, but I guess they're trying to portray him as, like, not that much older than him. But, yeah, you can tell that she's a lot younger, but okay, I guess times are
I would assume they probably had him pegged at around 23 when they found the young boy, and then because 10 years has passed, she's now close to 20 and he's like in his 30s. So no one's going to really shake their head that hard at it. So I don't think he was in his 30s or 40s when first, I don't think they were trying to portray it that way.
And then we meet a young Orlando Bloom. Not a young Orlando Bloom. I don't remember seeing Orlando Bloom in anything else in this, but this is my first interaction with Orlando Bloom. I don't know if I've seen Lord of the Rings before this, but
it was around.
I think they came out around the same time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think I saw Pirates before I saw Lord of the Rings. But this is my first interaction with Orlando Bloom, and I enjoyed him in this. And I thought, he had, I think it was a strong performance that he did in this. A lot of people like to, kind of trash him in this, but I thought he was a strong actor in this. I thought he carried his weight in it. He played off the titular character, which we'll get to soon because he's about to make his debut, not debut, but he's about to make his entrance soon. But I liked him as the blacksmith. You can tell there's something more about little Will Turner as well. Also, Keira Knightley as well. Now she's had her work done, in other dramas and stuff. This is my first real interactions with her as well. Now I know she was a stunt double, or not really stunt double. She was an extra in the Phantom Menace as well. She was Padme Amidala's second in the Phantom Menace.
Correct.
So I saw her in that, but she didn't really have like a really big role in that. This is like my first time.
Was Domino.
Well, so that came out after this. Yeah, it came out after this. At least I think it did.
The first two, so just to put a timeline perspective, Fellowship of the Ring and Two Towers came. One was in 2001 and one was in 2002.
Okay.
And then this came out.
You probably didn't see
the
those
King
until after this.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
Just
Okay, so it's a very strong opening, and I enjoy it. This is a great opening, and it flowed very well, and also the setting as well. It felt alive. I didn't feel like it was a set. I didn't feel like I was transported to like a movie. I felt like I was actually living in everything. Everything felt very authentic. It felt like everything was very practical. There was nothing, like fake about it. I know later in the movie they CG up some stuff, which they do very well. But as the beginning of the film goes, and the choreographies and stuff, which we'll get to, but the costumes and the designs, the buildings and everything, just chef's kiss. Yeah. You could tell they had a lot of fire in these first couple of movies. But yes, absolutely spot on, and loved it.
Jedi.
Yes. I know you was saying Jedi. What's your version? No. Pretty much what Gojira said was pretty much, as you say, chef's kiss. I mean, I know when I first heard about this film, and he was saying, YouTube was just at its infancy. It hadn't even really blown up yet. I would see it on the trailer of it, not in the theater, but on this show on E called Coming Attractions, and I would see the trailer for it, and I was just like, okay, I mean, this looks kind of interesting. I don't know. I mean, pirate movie doing swashbuckler thing. I mean, we kind of done it, but it kind of seemed like it kind of washed out. So I figured I might give it a chance. Opening up on this film, I was just like, wow, you are actually jumping us to a time that is long gone, but it's so authentic in the way it does, I'm just like, this is okay. I'm hooked, well, pun intended, because we mentioned hook earlier, but it reels you in and you just gravitas to. That's the thing I love about this, is that you gravitate towards the characters in here. I mean, it's like, we know about Elizabeth, she's young, and everything, but the other characters, Norton, the father, it's like, you just propel. And also we introduced to another character, I forget what is his name, and I see this
Gibbs.
Is it
Gibbs?
Gibbs, yes, we're introduced to him, and it's a very short moment, but it's very effective, and I'm just like, wow, we're getting introduced with a lot of characters, but at the same time, you're just like, they're setting it up very well, not just throwing it in your face. It's kind of like, it's coming up very naturally. This is what I like about storytelling or movies like this. They do it so naturally. That's why I feel like the characters in this film are so well done and so enduring that you want to see more what they're going to bring to the table, and I should say the Elizabeth character, I'm just get this out of the way right now. You kind of hit it on it, Nubis, but I'm just going to say Elizabeth's character is not she's a protagonist. She is not the most innocent of the characters in this movie. Okay. I mean, she's actually kind of she's a betrayer of certain things. I mean, she's a thief, she's a liar, and that's only because that she has a sense of well-being towards Will, in a way. But I mean, and then she loves the pirate theme of everything. She loves the pirate creed, and she knows these things.
She likes the bad boys.
She likes that's exactly. It's almost a hint of how women of today like the bad boys. They don't like the good guys. It's like they want the bad boy because they're thrilling, they're adventurous, they're all these things, and yet you're gonna take this shit and just run with it. It's like, yeah, okay, we're gonna do that. But no, this film starts out very well, and where we go from it, you want to know what it's going to go with. So, and I'm glad that the way it starts out is slow pace. Get to know the characters, because when I first saw this film, I'm thinking like, is this film going to drag? Is this going to do? But it has a natural flow that I'm appreciative of when I watch it. When I first saw it the first time, and I'm just like, hey, been a fan of it ever since then.
Mm-hmm.
Alvin, any thoughts?
I have to agree with what these guys have said. Like, they're about the first trailer hooked me when I first saw it. I think also in the trailer we also saw Barbossa in his skeletal-like form in the trailer.
Yeah.
And that got me intrigued right there when I first see this.
That's the key thing for me was I had seen a couple of trailers of this film when they first put it out, and I had no interest in it. None. And I thought, man, this is going to look like another Hook or another. There were some other pirate movies back in the '90s. I was just kind of like, I'm just not feeling
Davis and Matthew
the minute that he has that scene where he's like, something about like being in a ghost story. You're now in one.
Start believing in ghost stories.
Yes,
you're in one.
I was like, the minute I saw that trailer, I was like, oh, I'm seeing this.
That's exactly the trailer, and I gotta say I liked the designs of the special effects for this movie. Our point on with the trailer
I was gonna say this film is that's why I was gonna say this was a time when and I'm not saying the effects of the day are not good, but it's something that Gojira kind of touched on. They use a lot of practical effects mixed in with the digital to give it a more realistic and robust feel, and I'm just like everything's so digital now. It's like you can't really say what is what and what is like a physical set, where here you're dealing with physical sets, really on locations, kind of what they did back during the golden age of filmmaking. They really filmed in the mini. I can't say the word. They filmed where it was taking place at. I can't say the word. I get tongue tied. My throat's getting. So that's where they filmed it at, and I'm just like, this is what you call real filmmaking. This is in fact, I could say you and me. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ!
I'm so excited.
I'm saying I really am, because see, I'm saying that you and me, we used to watch shows that took place, that did this stuff, and we didn't think nothing about it. We just thought like, oh, they filming on location, but it's a very rare thing for them to just film on a location and get that authenticity. Authenticity. But you get what I'm saying, though, man. That's why I say this movie is so much fun. You kind of get lost in it. So that's what I'm trying to say.
The other thing was at this time, Kiara was Knightley. She was like only around 16 or 17 years old when she made this. So she had to have her mother kind of travel around with her on these sites. And apparently at one point, as you said, they were on set. So they weren't in a tank or anything. They were actually out on the open seas a little bit in the coves and stuff. So, but apparently at one point, Kiara, mom, and somebody else was on a boat in the middle of the night and hit the reef, and they sunk, and they had to sit on a reef for about a few hours while in the middle of the night. So I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, so it's like, we won't do that ever again. So Norrington at this point has been upgraded to Commodore. I forgot he's a Commodore, and the whole idea is that he wants to try to woo Elizabeth Swann into marriage. So they're on top of this castle area next to the sea. And so she's gotten this gift of a dress, I think from her dad or somebody. But it's a bust also. So he has like this very tight bust thing.
It's like a corset.
Yeah, corset. Thank you. And it's just really making her not be able to breathe.
Yeah.
So there's like this little comedy moment where he's like, I have something to tell you. And she's like, I can't breathe. He's like, yeah, I know. I can't really. That's hard for me too.
Yeah.
I couldn't bear it either, my love.
Like passes out and falls overboard. But in the meantime, while this is happening, and I'll let Mr. Goji introduce our star of the film.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So the music begins to swell as we meet our main protagonist, our main character of the story, Captain Jack Sparrow.
Mm-hmm.
And you have heard of him, haven't you? So he comes in on his boat, not his ship, on his boat, which is leaking all to hell because of reasons. And he's had a bit of problems as of late, but he's coming to this port. What's the name of the port again that they're at? I can't remember.
Port Royal.
Port Royal, thank you. So he's coming to Port Royal to get himself a ship, a new ship, so he can go after his beloved Black Pearl, which is, there's a curse on it, but we'll get to that soon enough. Don't you worry. As he's coming, the ship is it's taking on water, and it's one of the funnest shots of the entire series. I don't care what anybody says. As he's coming, he's standing on the mast, and it's actually sinking. And as it sinks completely, he actually steps off onto the dock, and he starts walking forward. He pays his way, so there's no trace of him or anything. And he's just walking along, and he sees Elizabeth fall from this great height. This has got to be like 200 feet she falls from. Now, the fun thing is that Elizabeth still has this pendant, which actually isn't a pendant. She's wearing it at this time. And when she hits the water, she starts to sink a little bit and begins drowning, and it actually sends out a ripple.
Yes.
And this ripple actually begins to call. And what does it call to? We don't know. As Jack becomes the hero we all know he is, don't worry, we'll get into that. He dives in and he tries to save Elizabeth from, drowning because, So he starts, to save her. He realizes that she's wearing the corset, cuts it off of her, and, everyone's like, "Oh, you saved her. How did you know to do that?" And he's like, "Hey, you've never been to Singapore." Mm-hmm. Or is it Singapore? Is that how the line goes? But anyway, so they actually begin to arrest him because he's a pirate, and they assume the worst. He did save her. He has a gun. It has one shot in it. Mm-hmm. He prefers not to use it. That's important. That's another thing about this movie. Everything that these characters do, especially Jack, Captain Sparrow, which is fine. He's a captain with no ship, but Captain Sparrow, everything he does has a purpose. Yes. Very specific, especially this gun. Don't forget about the gun. This one shot. He doesn't want to use it. So he begins to flee, even though he's in shackles. And he starts to run around Port Royal. And that's where he runs into our young Mr. Turner. Yeah. And that's when we have a very fun fight scene with swords. And, I was giddy about this. I love me a good fight sword. Wow. See, I'm so giddy. I'm pulling a Jedi now. I'm all over the place.
Right.
I don't even have to fuck up my verbiage. You guys are doing it for me.
Yeah. So we have a fun duel inside of the blacksmith's, blacksmith place. Yeah, in his, play. Yeah, in his area. So they fight, and it's a fun duel. And apparently they worked for a long time on this. They got the footwork down. They got the bouncing swords and everything. And it's a fun fight, which ends with the passed out blacksmith actually knocking Jack Sparrow out with a empty bottle, and that's when he's fully arrested. And they take him to jail, and Will is just given kind of like a courtesy thing. Will and the blacksmith is actually given, the kudos of capturing Jack Sparrow, which is, of course he did. It's like let him have it. Fun stuff as the wind starts to change, bringing something closer to Port Royal. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well,
let me keep going. I can keep going.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can keep going. I'll take over. Yes. While all this is happening, and I should say, while we're talking about this, the dialogue in this film just flows. You notice how the movie, the dialogue of each character flows through without being, forced in any kind of way. That's what I love about this movie, that the dialogue is very, very, I wish this movie had got a nomination for at least based on adapted screenplay, because the dialogue in this movie is spot on. But it's night, everything's quiet at Port Royal, everything. But all of a sudden, we see a mysterious, and I have to say, the music for this film, I'm like, so spot on with what it does. Because when you see the Black Pearl come into frame, you hear that music like as it goes by, and I'm just like, okay, what is this? This is a mysterious boat here. So, and at this time, we see that Davenport and what's the father's name? Elizabeth's mother, but Elizabeth's father. They're talking.
Governor Weatherby.
Swann.
Swann. That's what I guess. Governor Swann. Yes, Governor Swann. They're discussing the so-called proposal that Davenport gave to, so-called proposal, and they're just talking. They're just rambling on, and they hear something, or at least Governor Swann hears something, and all of a sudden, Davenport ducks him down, and you hear this gun. You hear this, like I say, cannon fire guns, and the Black Pearl is just shooting up Port Royal, just shooting it up, blowing up everything. And here's what's so interesting about this moment is Jack's in jail, and he says, I recognize those guns. He recognized his own guns from his own ship. I'm like, how you? It could be any ship, it could be any guns, it could be any cannons and everything, but he recognizes, and he runs up to the window, and he sees like, that's the Black Pearl. And that's why I say I love about this film. Everybody, no matter how small or insignificant the characters that are in this movie that are brought up, the smaller ones, they fill in some kind of motif of what's going on. And this one character that's in jail, cell beside him, he said, the Black Pearl. I've heard it been ransacking, ports for 10 years and everything, and this and that. And Jack easily says, he's like, really? Well, I wonder where the stories come from if people been killed. And they're just like,
no survivors. Where do the stories come from, mate?
Yeah, it's like, who you get this shit from, So anyway, they're shooting up everything, and we're introduced to a lot of characters. We're not really introduced to Barbossa yet. He's still in the boat, but we're introduced to different characters coming onto the shore, and different ones. We're introduced to this one guy whose beard is always kind of lit up, where he can light up the bombs and everything. And we're introduced to two of our favorite, or at least one of the two of our favorite characters.
Oh, these guys.
Yeah, huh?
These guys,
yes. We got the one guy who's just like, where the other one has a wooden eye, and it's like we just love it. We're introduced to these characters, and they're mixing back and forth and whatever. At the same time, Elizabeth, has been told like, they're coming for you, which in a way they are, but they're not coming for that reason because you're the governor's daughter. No, they're coming for something else. So Elizabeth tells this girl to, get out, go, whatever. So she tries to grab a sword to fight these characters, that come into the house. So she hides in the closet, and I love this scene here. And they're trying to find this, trying to find her because she has.
Hello, Poppet.
Yeah, I love this moment. Look, that's such an iconic moment when you see this, because he says, we know you're in here, Poppet, and you see that one moment where she's looking at the gold, looking at the medallion, and that shadow comes across the crack cover her eye and everything, and you see him say, "Hello, puppet," you know, and then she immediately, yes, dude, these two characters, especially him, they are brilliant in what they do. But he pretty much, I mean, this is why I say she's not that innocent. You know, Elizabeth's not that innocent. I'm sorry. She immediately hits to say parlay. It's like, and he say parlay. How would you know? You're a governor's daughter. How would you know about parlay? And she tells him that you have to see.
I know what parlay means.
Yeah, right. It's like, how would you? It's like, you're a governor's daughter. You're just some civilian. You wouldn't know what the piracy codes and everything, all that is. So they say they have to take her back to the captain and whatnot, and which they do, you know. And she's still, and it's kind of ironic that she's still wearing the damn medallion. I'm like, why are you wearing the fucking medallion? Please tell me that. I mean, I guess that's just reasons, but they take her back.
I think it's a tie to will. There's like this she knows she's supposed to marry properly, which is why Norrington's like one of the suitors, but like she has this affection for Will, but you know, obviously her dad wouldn't agree with it, you know, because he's just a blacksmith.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that Will is, you know, doing his thing, trying to take out, you know, certain pirates and everything. But as he's trying to go and rescue her, he gets pretty much put out, you know, for a time because
bump on the noggin.
Yes. So she's taken back to the ship, and we're met with Mr. Jeffrey Rush, brilliant actor, Mr. Barbossa. And, you know, they're still firing on the port and everything. They're still firing and everything. And she tells them, you know, if you leave, you know, whatever, make an agreement, say, you know, leave and whatever, and then, you know, tell them to do that. Now he says, I acquiesce, you know, to your request.
I acquiesce to your request.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, he says
that means no.
Yes.
That means no.
So this is why I say I get so giddy about this movie. The dialogue is just so flowed. So she takes the medallion that she feels is just a, you know, pirate's, you know, locket or whatever. And that's why I say she grabs it, she takes it off, and she's about to drop it. And when she kind of slightly drops it, they all say, no, you know.
Yeah.
You look at the expression.
No, like, yeah, we don't care about that. She's like, oh, really? She just like loosens it up and like.
But you know, I did
read something interesting about this though, where Jeffrey Rush apparently in the DVD commentary said that he had a theory that because people generally, you know, we read left to right, that he wanted his scenes where he came off from the left side of the screen, because he said, especially when it came to with Keira Knightley, he's like, yeah, so because I know everyone will be looking at her, I came over from the left side so people would look at me. So I thought that was pretty interesting concept of like why you wanted to do that.
But that's an interesting concept because I mean, some actors do have that thought process because they know how the framing of the, you know, where they're at makes sense, you know, because I know in Die Hard they kind of do that with, you know, John McClane and Han's character, where they're in different spots, but they're on the sides of where they're facing one another off screen, which I think is brilliant, you know. So here, you know, it's like that's kind of the same thing. So we know that she thinks she got the upper hand by trying to, you know, get him away from the port and everything. So he said, you give us this and we'll never come to this place ever again. So she thinks she got the upper hand, although she's about to find out you just fucked yourself, you know. So, and she mentions this is what's so crazy. That's why I say she's not innocent. I'm gonna keep bringing that up. She is not innocent. She says her name is Elizabeth Turner. Mm-hmm. She doesn't say Elizabeth Swann. She says Elizabeth Turner, and all of them Turner. Yes, they say, and all the crew start saying Turner. You know, Bootstrap Bill. You know, it's like, it makes you realize, like, girlfriend, you don't know what you just stepped in. So they leave the port, and she says, now you have to return me back to the dock. You have to return me back. It's like, for one, you didn't make that kind of deal. You just made a deal for it to leave the port and everything, and all these other things. He says, you know, and you say you have to be a pirate to speak the pirate's creed, and you're not. So he pretty much, and I love the moment when he says, "Welcome, welcome to the Black Pearl, Miss Turner." However he says it. I mean, he probably say it better than me, Gojira, but it's so brilliant how in the few moments, and it's funny, we're only like 30 minutes into the film, and we only got this digestion of all these amazing characters, whether it be, the side characters or the crew, and it's just like, it's so brilliant. So, of course, if you want me to go on, I mean, I can, because me and Gojira, we're bouncing off one another with this. It's just so much we could talk about. It's the next morning, and we see that Will is woken up from being hit on his noggin. So he goes to tell that the Commodore and the governor that Swann's been taken away, and he says we need to do something. He say, I don't know what it was with Davenport. He's just saying, take this man away. He's just this and that. And
he's a blacksmith. He knows nothing. Yeah, it's funny. He sounds like the dad from the Hobbit trilogy. Like his dad from like in the elves. What was it? Thrandir or something? I can't remember his name.
Legolas's dad.
Yeah, Legolas's dad. Yeah, Thrandir. Yeah, Thrandir. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he kind of sounds like him. He's like, we are not to engage or some shit like that. It's almost like the same kind of dialogue almost.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was, but and it's not written by the same
no, it's not.
So it's not. So but no, they he says like we need to go find him, we need to go rescue him, and he has a axe in his hand, and he says, we need to do this. And he say, that's not good enough.
That's not good enough.
And he's telling like, dude, it's like I'm gonna say it kind of streetwise when I say it. He's like, dude, look, I don't know what your play is, but you are not a soldier. You're not this. You are a blacksmith. He tells like, and don't think that you're the only one that feels something for Elizabeth. He's telling him, it's like, in no more small detail, you ain't shit, basically. And he mentioned, in just a side note, he mentions to them that Jack Sparrow knows about the Black Pearl. He could probably lead him to them, But he's like, no, he's a pirate. We don't deal with pirates. They're bad. They're not good. Blah, blah, blah. And this is how it is. So, do you want to go on? Because, like I say, this.
Well, the only thing I'm going to say, we can give it back to either Alvin or Goji, but
I could go on.
One thing I'll say is, and this is kind of like just because we haven't gotten to the other two movies like later down the road, but one thing I really love about at least the first three films is how they have like growth of the characters. So take the two comical pirates, take Norrington, like they all have these like shifts throughout the series, and I really enjoyed that a lot, that Gore did that with the writing and the storylines and stuff. So it's like we see this, sometimes you might start with, like in this movie, say you really hate these characters. I even came to like Barbossa like after this film. So it's like, you just see different ways that these characters are a little bit more complex than you would think for a Disney film. So I really enjoyed that about the script and the characters that they wrote in here.
Yeah, I have to agree with what you said after after this one. It's like the characters grow on you, like you said, and it was with like Barbossa for sure grew on me as well after this one. I really like the end scene of the second Pirates where it's like, oh, he's brought back from the dead. It's like, and
yep. Well, who wants to pick up where Jedi was?
I can, but Alvin, you want a chance? I feel like we're kind of dominating the stream here. I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are talking about so Will frees Captain Jack Sparrow, and they are going to so they Will frees Jack. They fake the theft of the Dauntless, and they steal a ship called HMS Interceptor.
That's without a doubt the best pirate I've ever seen.
Coach, you can probably say it better, but you said it good on it, but so on.
Yes, you have heard of me.
Yes.
That's the thing about Norton. He says that he's the worst pirate. When we first introduced to one another, he says Jack Sparrow is the worst pirate he's ever seen. But we see in this moment that Jack is probably like the most underrated pirate he's ever met. You know,
well, it happens throughout the film. Every time he keeps showing up, and Barbossa's like, "How is this possible?"
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. Hector, how are you doing?
Oh my God!
No, it can't be true.
Yeah. Right.
To
sea turtles, mate.
Yes.
Sea turtles. Sea turtles, mate. With hair from me back.
they escape to Tortuga with the Dauntless, and we are introduced to Mr. Sleeping with the Pigs, Mr. Gibbs.
Yes.
I'm like, and they recruit a crew to go after Barbossa and the medallion.
And we get an early role from Zoe Saldana.
Yes. This was my first interaction with Zoe Saldana as well. I was like, wow, okay.
Well, not for me. I seen her just a year before in Drumline.
Oh,
yes, with that asshole now that I call what's his, I mean, and you know what? I don't even care for his name, but the dude was with Mariah Carey, you know, so that dude. So I'm gonna say his name.
So I didn't know Kira was also in a movie called The Hole.
Yeah, she was in. Yes, if you ever heard of it, it's a pretty dark film. I'll put it like that.
Center State. I'm just reading the comments, bro.
Oh, okay. Yes, but no, she's not like I say. Sarah Saldana. You know, we get the crew. We get a new crew because they already had to check the boat, and we see that. And this, like I say again, love these characters that we're introduced to. Whether it be old, short, very short, we get introduced to one of the characters who's a very small person, and we realize all these characters are effective.
Marty's the little short guy. That's his name. And
I don't think I deserve that.
Funny enough, he's been in a lot of stuff. He's a stunt performer himself.
I mean, he was in a film just a few months before, Cradle to the Grave. I remember that with Jet Li and DMX.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh well.
Is that the Steven Seagal one?
No, that's the what's it called? What was it was that came out 2 years before that one.
Okay.
Exit Wounds. That was the one. But no, this is one with DMX and Jet Li.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But no, like I say, going back to that is these are different characters here, and one of the motifs too that I love in this film is where Jack Sparrow gets slapped when he goes to Tortuga to find the crew. And
I don't think I deserve that.
I love how when he goes to Tortuga, he's looking for a crew. He finds Gibbs. And the two women that he met before, slaps that. Don't you that? Yes. And then this one, they say Giselle, and she said, "Who is she?" It's like, huh? Slaps him.
I don't think I deserve that.
Yeah, the first one I love, and then when he says, "Say, I think I might have deserved that."
So I think I deserve that one.
So when we see
when he has the face, Saldana's character, she slaps her. He's like, "I definitely deserve that.
I definitely deserve that one. You stole my boat. I borrowed your boat. Oh, your ship. I borrowed your ship."
It's like I say, it's so refreshing, and that's why it's in, like you mentioned too, Gojira. This was, I think this is like her second or third outing, and she wasn't even that big yet, but she was going to grow to stature later on, And I'm glad that she got a chance to be in a pirate film, because she's very effective. Yeah, I love her in this.
And this is their only one because apparently something, and this is trivia.
She didn't have a good experience on it.
Yeah.
So,
okay. See, because I was kind of wondering why she didn't return in the other three, but
yeah, she said that it wasn't really anything to do with the actors. It had something to do with like the politics of the higher ups, and said that it just was a very bad experience for her to be on set, and she almost quit the industry after that. But there was another movie she did called The Terminal, which I think that's with Tom Hanks, and she said that was a much better experience, so she continued on at that point. But she didn't want anything more to do with the franchise after that.
That's crazy.
Oh,
See, I wouldn't see. It's funny how those behind the scenes notions come up, and you don't realize why certain people don't return or do certain parts anymore. Like Katie Holmes didn't return for the Nolan Batman Dark Knight. I'm just like, why didn't that? But hey, K Sarah, so that's what I feel.
So I didn't even know this, and I just saw this on the trivia thing. So there's a hidden Mickey Mouse in the movie, and it's at around the 35-minute mark. It says the final cannon shot during the Black Pearl siege of the town billows into a Mickey Mouse head shape against night sky.
Yes, that's You didn't know about this, Coach? I knew about this. I know about. This is the thing about Disney, whether it be their the regular Disney films or Touchstone or Hollywood Pictures. There's always going to be that kind of what you call like Easter egg that they put in. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'll give you an example real quick. Have you ever seen Mission to Mars? There's a moment where the satellite dish of the ship and part of a planet coming in line, and it actually forms Mickey Mouse's head. So, just a little trivia for you.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but then I never noticed it. But no, okay,
yeah, me either. Like when I read that, I was like, I probably need to go back someday and just freeze it. There it is. Yeah. But that's not uncommon for Disney to do crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do it a lot. I bet in Pixar stuff also. I'm sure.
Yeah.
They do. I don't know.
They did it in Tron, the original Tron. They did it.
Yeah, that's something I don't know what it is with Tron. It's just nothing that's caught my eye much.
It's not for everybody. I can tell you that.
I mean, eventually maybe, but I haven't really sat down to watch a little bit of it to see if it interests me or not. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
As I say, it's an acquired taste. I mean, it seemed like it should be interesting enough. It's a video game. Whatever, you're sucked in, but it's, at the same time, if it doesn't suck you in like this film does, don't watch it unless you really. It's like I say, got 2 hours to kill. Watch it and then feel like, okay, it was okay, but I don't think it's my cup of tea.
Yeah. So the next day, they're introduced to all the crew members, and they on Isle de Moret. How do you say the name? Isla de
Moreta.
Isla de Moreta. They sneak
Jurassic Park area.
Oh yeah.
The land of the dinosaurs. That's what it is.
Yeah. They sneak into the treasure grotto where Barbossa fails to lift the curse using Elizabeth's blood.
Whoa. Hold on. Just stop here for just 1 sec. Add a little context.
Huh?
Okay, so the medallion isn't a medallion at all. It's actually Aztec gold.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's actually one piece of a set of pieces in a massive treasure chest of Aztec gold. So when they stole it, they're actually cursed. And the entire crew of the Black Pearl, minus Captain Jack Sparrow, because when Barbossa actually marooned Jack off of the Black Pearl. That's when they stole it. That's when they got cursed. But then, Will Turner actually stole the One Piece from them, and that's how that One Piece got away from them. That's why the curse was there. That's the thing about the one gold piece. It's actually Aztec gold, and that's why that's the whole thing of the curse of the Black Pearl. So, okay, just want to throw a little context in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now when you said that, you go, okay, this is off topic, but you got me thinking of One Piece, the anime now. When the first
Sorry. I did say One Piece about 10 times there, so I'd be sorry there, Oliphant. I should have kept my mouth shut there.
It can't be.
No, you're good.
I promise I won't interrupt you again, then, laddie. Don't worry.
All good.
He'll fail that. He'll fail that.
I feel bad now.
Yeah. Anyways, Will and Elizabeth escape with a medallion, but Jack is captured and imprisoned on the Pearl. Did I skip the skeleton part where?
No, we're still good.
You can still, yeah, I would say we already know about it, so you can,
yeah. You don't have to like do every detail. Just
we already know what happens.
A battle erupts between the ships, and Will surrenders when he learns that Bootstrap was fodder. Dun dun dun. We're introduced to Bootstrap in the sequel, with the stipulation that Elizabeth and the crew are not harmed.
Which Barbossa is kind of like a fucking a djinn. Like, it's like, you're granted a wish, but if you're not specific, I'm gonna fuck you over.
Barbossa imprisons the crew of the Interceptor and maroons Jack and Elizabeth on the same island as he originally was marooned on.
And may I add this? I have to add this. This moment here where they before they do the marooning and everything, and where he says you got to be specific. You notice how everyone is interacting with one another, even when they're in the background. They're so effective. The main characters, or if they're up front, it's like everybody has their role to play. It reminds me so much of how, especially Japanese cinema is, where the characters, whether it be the main ones or just some side characters, all of them interact or respond to each other on the side or in front or back. I love how they did it here, especially in this moment where everyone's been condemned. They captured the Interceptor crew, and they're just holding them hostage, and they're about to toss up Sparrow, they desert him again, blah, blah, blah. And it's just amazing. I just love how the interaction with the characters is so amazing. I just feel that that's something that's kind of lost on, just cinema, just movies in general, when the characters don't interact or mash together to give this realistic feel. And here is so realistic that, because like I said before, the dialogue in here is so clutch. I just wished it was more films like this, but you get what you take. You get what you take. So I just want to throw that out there.
Oh, okay. Elizabeth signals for help by creating a large bonfire using smuggled rum hidden on the island, leading the Royal Navy to rescue them.
Pisses off Sparrow.
Yeah.
Why is the rum gone?
Yeah,
Why is the rum?
Perfect quote.
It is a vile drink that everyone should not be drinking. It turns men stupid. But why is the rum gone?
Right. Like, we're starting this bonfire, but why is the rum gone?
And you see how he's about to like shoot her. He's like, "Ooh, it's like,
She agrees to marry Norrington if he saves Will from Barbossa. Jack and Norrington plan to ambush the pirates at Isla de Moreta, but Jack then convinces Barbossa to delay lifting the curse until after defeating Norrington's men. In the battle,
you guys could lift the curse, but right outside, there's an entire Navy ship right outside ready for you to blast you. I say, You wait. You go outside as skeletons, and then you do the thing. That's pretty much it.
Uh-huh. Jack,
I love Barbossa's like, gentlemen, let's take a walk.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I gotta add something real quick too. There's some deleted scenes from this film, and it's just a brief moment between Elizabeth and Jack, and it's mentioning where he's mentioned about where the pirates are at, and she tells him, it's like, you didn't tell him about the curse, and he says, I noticed you didn't either. I guess for the same reason, and they go back and forth, and he was telling, he says like, well, you could have, lied to him and everything. It's like, hey, and he Jack recognize in this deleted scene, he recognizes her kind of manipulation and what she's trying to get out of something, which Jack does perfectly too. And she tells him, like, you're a smart man, Jack, but I honestly don't trust you. And he tells her, peas in a pod glove, meaning that he knows a scammer when he sees one.
They probably held back on that because when it comes to the second film, there is that tension between Will and her because of the secrets they keep from one another. So that's probably why they skipped it there and then said, we're just going to kind of use something over here in the second film to kind of address that very thing you're talking about, where she's not as she's very conniving, and it shows throughout the rest of the series how she is. So yeah.
I could continue.
I like Neko's comment also. What you just said.
Isla de Muerte is there's a dead island.
Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's interesting.
Goji.
Yes.
Go ahead. Pick it up, sir.
Okay. So, as the crew actually, goes on a walkabout, as skeletons to go, take care of the Navy, Jack stays behind and, he wants the Black Pearl by any means. So he's actually, acting like he's, being a little friendly with Barbossa. He's actually making it look like he's taking some treasure. And Barbossa, he's, very annoyed with all of this. So then, he's playing around and he actually takes a coin. Makes it look like he doesn't, but he takes a coin. I'm not going to play coy with it because, I can play coy a little longer if I want to, but he takes a coin. And then they're playing around, and Barbossa shoots Jack to make it look like he kills him, but no. Jack is now undead because, he willingly takes the curse upon himself as well. Because the only way for the curse to be taken off of them is by the blood of a Turner. And by this point, Will is actually a part of Jack's crew as well that actually goes and hunting down, wanting to get Elizabeth back. And then we get another exhilarating, a duel between, this time, Jack and Barbossa. The music swells, they're fighting it. They're fighting all over the place. Every time they step into the dark, you see them in uniform. Every time they step into the moonlight, you see them turn into the skeleton forms, and it's fun. You see like a little a speech with Barbossa. He's like, "What do you say, Jack? We keep fighting this way until the end of time. The trumpets sound and all of this and that." And then Jackson's like, "Or you could just surrender."
Yes.
And then they just keep on fighting. The music keeps swelling, everything, and it looks like Barbossa, he's sick of all this crap. So he's about to kill, Elizabeth. I think, oh shit, he's going to kill Elizabeth. When finally Jack shoots Barbossa with his one shot.
Yes.
But then Will slits his hand and they drop the last two coins into, the back into the treasure chest. And then all of a sudden, Barbossa says, I feel cold.
Cold to me. Yeah.
That the curse is finally lifted as the pirates on the Navy ship. Actually, the curse is lifted. They all feel again, and they no longer are bound by the curse of the Aztecs. And then Barbossa dies, and we start to wrap up our story. And Jack is actually taken into custody. Can't this guy catch a break in this entire story? He doesn't have the Black Pearl anymore. He's gotten arrested 3 times in this movie already. He's been threatened with, being hung. He's been shot. He's been, some people swing swords at him all the time. Can he catch a break? Well, no, he's about to be hung. They bring him back to Port Royal, and he's about to be, he's been tried. He's about to be executed. Well, Will Turner, he's not having this shit. No. He says to Elizabeth, I know I'm not what you think I am and everything, but I must do what I must do. And he goes over, he wants to save, Jack from the gallows. He does. Jack says, remember, this is a time you almost caught Jack Sparrow. He falls. And then there's the Black Pearl. As Jack swims to the Black Pearl, he finally has his beloved Black Pearl, and he has his crew, and they sail off into, the sunset, drink up me hearties, yo-ho, and that's the story of Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Excellent first entry into the Pirates franchise, but for me, not my favorite. That comes with the sequel, which I cannot wait to talk about in the future.
Yep.
I was going to say, aren't we going to talk about the end scene also?
Oh yes, there's an end. Yes, this is now. Look, no, I got it. Let me do this one. I'm pretty sure you guys may or may not know. I'm a credit watcher. I love credits. I love to watch the credits and seeing who's behind and doing the manufacturing, the whatever, as far as effects, set designs, all that stuff. I love to watch credits all the time. Thing about this, I never expected when I was watching credits. I started doing this back in the late 80s, watching credits. Okay. That aside, when you stay through the entire film and they put in this little in credit moment as some of these things, I was kind of like, wow, they do that, So there's a moment at the very end of this movie, after all the credits are done, we're back at Ella de Morta, where Barbossa is still dead, or is he? And he's just sitting there, and his monkey Jack. Okay, I'm thinking people don't remember this, but I mean, we it was in there, but there's a monkey named Jack.
Yep.
That's in there. And it was all, this monkey was also, and it's a she. Just remember, it's a she. And she was cursed too. So this curse was lifted off of her also. So the monkey, I guess, loyal to Barbossa, just do whatever she's doing. And she goes back to the treasure chest, casually picks up a medallion, and she's cursed again. And all of a sudden, she breaks the fourth wall and just goes, like that. So that's the end of the film, So we don't know that we're going to have a sequel after this. But knowing that we see that moment, it was just like, wow, okay. I mean, and it's a refreshing moment, because just like you don't know if it's going to go anywhere. We think it's like, oh, it's just a throwaway moment. But as we find out, 3 years later, yes, we're going to jump into something even more thrilling, as we'd like to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that's the ending that you're talking about. I mean, unless you're talking about everything else that Gojira.
Before, I was also talking about how Jack gets the pearl at the end, and he, like that, the Will and Jack. Will saves Jack from hanging, all that stuff also.
Okay, but
really cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's important because, Jack's getting ready to get hung, and then Will goes the same. Then we have, again, Elizabeth pretends to faint, but she's faking it. So, like, her father's like, God damn it. But yeah, so, like, obviously, again, Jack is caught, but Will steps in and says, well, if you're going to kill him or hang him, you're going to do it for me too. You're going to hang me because he's a pirate. He's got a bloodline in piracy with his father. So the biggest turning moment is when Elizabeth steps next to Will and does the same thing. And of course, Norrington's like, well, is this really where your heart is? And she's like, yes. And so he's like, and I love the line at the end for Norrington again. His right hand is like, are we not going to chase her? He's like, give him a head stay start, and then we'll get back on him. Like he's so confident he'll catch him, it doesn't matter.
But as I said again too, I mean, this is why I say I love this picture for what it is, because even at this moment, we see this interaction with the characters, you know, whether it be the side characters, the main characters. I mean, it flows so well. I just love the flow of this film, and that's the thing. You get a lot, but not a whole bunch, because surprisingly, that's coming in the next two films, which they go ham on a lot of stuff. But here, it's just a simple notion of a cursed ship, cursed pirates, and that's enough. You know, that's enough. And the characters in here, the dialogue, I mean, as Gojira would say, chef's kiss.
They almost could have ended here. This almost could have been like a one and done, actually.
Yeah. I thought it would be, actually, to tell you the truth.
One thing I was going to say, whenever they do these movies and stuff, they add on to the rides of pirates. Like, I don't know if you've been to Disney World in a while, Gojira, but after the last movie that came out in 2017, they added new stuff to the ride after each movie comes out. They like go through the ride, and they add stuff to the movie, like the car scenes and all that stuff. It's all updated after every Pirates movie, so it's really cool.
All right, well, let's Goji, give us your final thoughts on this particular film and your rating with 1 through 10. How you feel about it?
Absolutely awesome movie. Absolute must watch for anyone to watch. I give it a 10 out of 10. It's a million times better than Cutthroat Island.
Yes, that's the other one I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking about. The Gina Davis, Martin Modine, yes.
That's why I was saying, like, before I found out that there was ghosts involved or skeletons and stuff, I thought, oh, we're not doing another Cutthroat, are we? This is like ridiculous. So when they finally did like the whole supernatural thing, I was like, oh, okay, now I'm interested. Now I want to see this.
I've only seen that movie once, Cutthroat Island.
That's all you need. That's really all you need. That's all you need to see that movie just once.
I mean, it's got a great ship explosion in there. It does, but I mean,
I don't even remember it. So,
well, the best part of Cutthroat Island is that Frank Langella's in it. That's the best part of that movie. And I don't know if I don't want to speculate, but let's just say that's my one great saving grace for that movie is Frank Langella's in it. That's just me though.
Jedi, your last final thoughts and rating.
Same with Gojira. I mean, this movie's a 10 out of 10. I mean, how can you not give it a 10 out of 10? This kind of refreshed my notion of how filmmaking should be done. You know, great story, great characters. You know, I mean, hell, I mean, this is old Hollywood type of filmmaking. You know, where you can actually enjoy yourself, eat a bucket of popcorn, and just get lost in the fantasy. You know. But I just wish more films would do this today. But, well, we already know that's no tell of that, so we won't go. But, yes, 10 out of 10. Much watch.
Holden.
It's a 10 out of 10 for me also. The one thing I don't think we've touched on is the score for this film is really amazing. It would
very catchy. When Necro and I were watching this yesterday to catch up, we were humming the fucking score after it was over. So go ahead, Olga.
But it's done by an amazing film composer. The sequels are in Hans Zimmer, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Hans Zimmer had a touch on it on this first one. But
somebody named Brandt that did it, I think.
But Hans Zimmer will take over for the next two.
Oh, Klaus Badelt is the guy that did it.
Say his name.
He's done a lot of stuff, so. But I like the cast choices that they did. I mean, there's some interesting trivia about this movie that, like, Robert De Niro was a possible choice for Jack Sparrow randomly, and I'm
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
They also had.
No.
They also considered
Hey,
Jessica
Barbossa,
Alba.
what are we doing here, huh?
I'm not gonna- Jessica. Well, I can see Jessica Alba and.
Ooh.
They also said that maybe Jamie Alexander. I could see her as Elizabeth Swann. You know, I could see her.
I can see her there, but
Jessica
Alba.
Especially around that time. If you ever
Bull.
saw what was it, Into the Blue that we were talking about? Like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wait, hold on. Jessica Alba as Elizabeth Swann. Did I hear that right?
You heard it right.
You heard it right.
Ooh.
I mean,
Ooh.
let's be honest. I mean, you see more flair. You see more.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Yes.
And Bane is into the fucking stream.
We must build a time machine and go back and make this happen. Quick, build a flux capacitor. We must go back and make this happen.
Shadi has the tan.
Yes.
We'll make it an 11 out of 10 with that. Oh,
Yeah,
my.
right.
I do like though also how Industrial Light and Magic was the special effects team.
Yes, they were the
that
main.
did Undead Pirates. So they did a really good job with this movie. I mean,
Yes. I mean,
No,
they
Especially
were,
when you're going from like just regular light to the moonlight, that was a great,
That's
transference
exactly
of.
one of my favorite shot scenes in the film, and I really like that effect that they did. I don't know how they did it. It's a mystery of itself. I'm sure there's behind the scenes and stuff about this movie on that, but it's really interesting. There's a lot of really cool details in this movie that are really in the great cast.
Jake. Thank you, Jake.
This is a really good must-watch movie if you've ever seen it.
Oh, what was your score on this, Nevis?
A fucking 1 out of 10. This shit sucked.
Okay.
Yeah, he liked Cutthroat Island more.
Oh, okay. Well, then, okay, I can see that.
Nah, the one thing I really love about these films, at least the first three, is that you can watch this film and the other two, and this kind of goes back to some of the stuff Jedi was talking about. I was like, it's fun film, like popcorn, sit down. It doesn't even feel long. These movies run about 2 to 2.5 hours. That's a long film.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can watch a film like that and you get to a point you're like, oh, my ass is tired, or I might need to pause for a little while and go do something else. Not here. These films keep you so engaged and so much fun that the time just passes away and you don't even know it. And so even by the time this film ends, I'm like, I want more. I want more. And I guess, I don't know, you guys might feel the same way, but when I finished watching this just for this review, I was like, man, I want to watch the other two films now. Like, I'm really in the mood.
It's funny.
to go back down,
It's funny you said that. As you said that, I have Disney Plus on right now, and I have the second one. I'm looking at Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. I'm looking at the title screen right now. So I'm going to pause it now. Once we're done with the stream, I'm going to watch it. So yeah, I have it right there. You guys, you made the itch. It's right at the back of my neck.
Yeah,
I'm going to watch it.
You accepted that into his brain. So yes, that's
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, these films are just so much fun, and they just flow. As Jedi says, they just flow. And so it's always a lot of fun just to sit there and go back and watch these. And I just, doing this, it reminded me just how much fun they are. Like, I really enjoy them. So 10 out of 10, easily 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Fun movie. Well, fun movies,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, host. What are you doing, host? You're sitting over there. Come on,
Selling
host.
content.
We are all in awe of this film. So we must sit in awe of the film for just a moment.
Yeah, we have to let it roll. Like I say, just
We can no longer speak. It's so great. We can't speak anymore.
Yes, we must let it marinate for a few moments. Yes, just let it sit and marinate.
It's like,
All right. Goji, you got anything coming up that you're doing on your channel?
I wish. I'm still waiting for things to actually arrive. I have an X Plus figure purchased, waiting for it to actually ship. I have other things on pre-order that I'm waiting for it to be done. I had a lot of fun doing this stream with you guys. Look forward to the future. I have several kaiju spotlights scheduled with you in the future. There's that. Yeah, other than that, there's just that. I'm trying to think of other things besides unboxings and figure reviews to do to try and do more with my channel, because I feel like I'm kind of getting stale just doing figure reviews. I want to try and diversify. What?
So you got a couple things with me coming eventually.
Yes, I have a couple things with Alvin as well. Some comic book character spotlights as well. I'm gonna try and set up something with Jedi. He does a lot of videos and a lot of movies that are interesting that I'd like to get in on as well. I wanted to do that Jaws video with him. I was working when he was doing it, so I want to try and set something else up with him in the future. But I don't want to put him on the spot here. But there's that.
He's putting you on the spot, by the way.
Next month, I'm going to be doing a review with Sentry and Anthony Jordan for The Last Samurai as well, so that's going to be fun.
Did Jedi freeze?
Or he's really concentrating really hard, or he's really staring at us.
Yeah, right? It's like
Jedi.
It's scary. It's a scary look.
Jedi, does the Matrix have you?
I'm waiting for the glitch.
Oh no, it really does have him.
Yeah, the Matrix is recalled.
Oh jeez. Agent Smith stole him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well. Oh. I'm starting to feel bad. Was that me? Did that? Uh oh. I guess that was me. No,
you're good.
I cause chaos everywhere I go. I guess I am.
Immediately for tomorrow, I'm gonna get with Kevin Lambert. We are gonna be reviewing the last 4 or 5 Texas Chainsaw Massacre films for his Into the Darkness segments, where it's part 2 of that. We already did the first 4 the other day. Then Wednesday, my Ghouls of Midnight pick is The Wraith from 1986, I think it might have been, with Charlie Sheen. And then I haven't really felt on anything. Oh, but I do. Our next pick for Silver Screen Savants, what we'll be doing, I think I'm going to talk with Alvin offline, but my pick's going to be Lionheart with Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's going to be my pick.
Love that movie.
Yeah. So Jedi is having some internet issues, obviously. So I don't know if he'll get back in a second.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Yes, mystery man.
Yeah. So we're doing upcoming.
We just thought you were really pissed off at us. You were just staring.
No, it didn't. No, I love you guys. I don't know why I'm here. Before you leave, let me say my 2 cents. I got something. I didn't think I was going to have anything coming up, but I got a couple of unboxings I'm going to do in the future. But also, I got something coming up this Friday with Kevin Lambert, where we're going to be talking about The Last Dinosaur.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 1977 connections, yeah.
Yes. As far as that, I know I got a kaiju connection. Well, when I say when we talk about kaijus with Anubis, I think we're going to be doing Gira. Is it Gira? I think we're talking about. I can't remember.
Well, we did Gira.
We did Gira, okay.
But there is a bunch of them that we've started to sort through that we're going to be doing together with like a lot of you guys, with like different eras of Godzilla and stuff like that. So
I'm sure
once I start putting all together, you guys I'll contact you all with that.
But other than that, that's all I got for right now.
Alvin, what do you got coming up?
Well, first off, we have this coming out. Me and Gojira are going to be doing this next month live on both our channels.
Oh, nice.
So this will be a dual stream.
I'm playing Marcus.
You already
You're
said
Dom.
it before. I heard you. I know.
Yeah, you're Dom.
You're done.
Oh boy. That is coming up, and then this will be our comic show.
Nice.
We're gonna talk. Me and Gojira are gonna be doing a show over comics. Where this is our first character, the Max. You guys have told me about him.
Dude, the Max is. I haven't seen this dude in a long time.
Yeah, from the 90s.
Yeah.
Introduced me to him. I got an idea for what we're gonna do for the second episode, and I want to do the Man of Clay, Mr. Clayface, for the second episode because why not? Clayface is comics. He's a cool, underrated character. He's got an upcoming movie next year, in fact. So it'll be fun.
I hope it's next year, but it's coming up soon.
Eventually.
Yeah, it's coming up soon, yeah. And apparently it's going to be R-rated, which is that's very advantageous of them to do an R-rated Clayface film.
I
don't know if it's going straight to Max or if it's going to hit theaters. I think it'd be good if it hit theaters. It should hit theaters, in my opinion.
Let's hit the theaters, man.
It has a really good horror producer doing it, or writer, or someone. Flanagan is behind it. He's had some really good horror stuff, so it'll be interesting to see. This is our stuff for next. In September, this will start out, but this is like all our tokusatsu stuff's going to be on this channel as well. So like this is going to be our first topic is a show called Robot Detective K. This came out in the 90s and 80s, 1980-ish or so, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head, but this is a show by the creator of Hiroshi Ishinomori, the Legend of manga. I don't know how you say it. So. Really?
Well then.
Huh?
You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can't see anything. It's
sounds like you're sinking.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Should we leave? Because
no, I'm good.
Sounds like you're taking on water. Are you all right?
No, I was drinking water for a second. That's why.
Oh, okay. But you were taking on water.
You were taking on water.
And then this is my show where I'll be doing gameplay reviews. Maybe nice. I'll be doing streams of stuff. And this is going to be my first franchise I'm covering is the Prince of Persia series from 2003. I will be doing it on the computer. So I am looking forward to that. I am a big fan of this franchise. I know a lot of like the lore-ish for the characters and stuff. I know for a fact also then that eventually me, Anubis, and Jedi will be doing a live stream of the James Bond movies. We will be ranking them. I've got my list done. Anubis has his list done. I don't know if you've gotten your list yet done, Jedi, of that, but we're still covering them, so you got time. And then I think eventually we've got an interview with Bobby. You'll have to fill me in on that because I haven't heard anything lately, Anubis, on that. So
yeah, I haven't heard back from him yet, so I don't know. He's still working stuff out, I guess.
But then other than that, that's all I've got. And then eventually we'll probably do a Batman ranking with Gojira over Batman movies. That would be fun to do.
So you definitely have to do your Bane voice.
Oh, yes. I shall do my Bane voice for that one. Shall I do it the entire video or just a little bit?
I don't know if you got that much gas for that.
It sounds like a challenge. A challenge I shall accept there, Mr. Jedi Granville.
Then you see. I've definitely watched it.
Nothing is off limits.
Yeah.
Nothing is off limits for Bane over here. Don't you worry. I shall have fun with that ranking. The Dark Knight Rises, where shall that go? No stops. Only I know. Oh
You
yes.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned The Dark Knight Rises, and it just today or something? It's the anniversary.
I don't know. I'm just talking.
No, today actually, like the movie.
Bane was in that movie. How could you
Yeah,
not know that? By the wonderful Tom Hardy.
Oh, by the way, I was gonna say Pirates on July 9th had its anniversary on July 9th.
Yeah.
Well, we passed that a while ago then.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're almost
It's like July
Yeah,
20th.
you're on
something.
your vacation when it was 22 years, in fact.
Yeah, wow, that was quite some time. We passed it.
Yeah,
This is a
but-
long time ago. Yeah.
Just
much
don't
younger.
schedule the next video next year, July. And I don't want to wait till next year to do Dead Man's Chest.
Good
Okay,
Lord.
don't do that.
Especially if he's gonna watch it now. He's gonna be like, I want to talk about it now.
he wants
I
to
mean,
talk about it for
No,
my
I
next-
don't want to talk about it now. Oh, well, let's talk. We'll talk about it another time. But no, don't wait till July 9th, 2026 to talk about Dead Man's Chest. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Just
I mean,
saying.
it'll turn
Just
20 years
saying.
old, but we don't need to do that. Yes.
But in all seriousness, Dark Knight Rises' its anniversary is today as well. So,
It is?
Oh, really? Okay.
No, I'm
Are you
just messing
serious?
around. Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
in all
Like,
seriousness, it is July 20th.
He does this all the time, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I
like-
did. I did his voice. I just did his voice for shits and giggles. Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Good timing.
I was gonna
well,
say.
okay. I am Gotham's Reckoning. Apparently, very nice. All right. Now is not the time for fear. That comes later.
Yeah. But anyways, this has been Silver Screen Savants episode 18, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl.
Yes.
Something like that.
Excellent film.
Yeah.
Very excellent.
You've all heard our thoughts. Sound off in the comments about it if you want. And we will catch you all next week on Saturday with Lionheart.
Savvy.
They got me Hardy's no ho.